Right, we're going to finish up the other part of section 10.3. We already talked about adding polynomials, so now we want to talk about subtracting polynomials. So when we're subtracting polynomials, we're going to find the opposite of the second polynomial and then add. Right? When we're doing our adding, remember we're adding and subtracting our coefficients. Right? We are not changing our variables and our exponents. So basically what we're going to do in this example is we're going to combine what we did in the previous two examples in this section. So we're asked to subtract, simplify, and write each answer in descending order. Okay, so looking at this, my first polynomial is a binomial. There's no sign out front or anything, so that's not going to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write 4x cubed plus 2. Right, so we are going to have one extra step to this problem compared to the last one because we are going to have to do some rewriting. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to use this negative sign and distribute this negative sign to our other binomial here. So a negative 1 times a positive 1x cubed is going to give us a negative 1x cubed. Right, we're changing that sign. A negative 1 times a negative 7 is going to give us a positive 7. Right, so we found our opposite of our second polynomial. So that's step 1, right? And then add. Now we're going to combine our like terms. Right, so 4x cubed and a negative x cubed is going to give us a 3x cubed. A positive 2 and positive 7 is going to give us a positive 9. All right, for b, we're going to do the same. Our first polynomial isn't going to change. 9z minus 3. All right, now we're going to change the signs of these in here. Right, so we're going to have a minus 4 instead of a positive 4, because negative times positive is going to give us negative. And then we're going to have a positive 2w, right, because negative times negative turns positive. So looking at this, the only terms that are like terms are our numbers. So we're going to start with our variables because our variables have the higher degree. Generally, if we have different variables, we go alphabetically. So I'm going to pick and choose this 2w to go first. So I have 2w plus 9z. Right? And then I'm going to combine my negative 3 and negative 4 to give me a negative 7. All right, so for C, again, we're going to start by distributing our negative sign on our second polynomial. Our first one is going to drop straight down. Y squared minus 4y. Our positive 6y squared is going to turn to negative y squared. Our positive 2y is going to turn into a negative 2y. Then we're going to combine our like terms, highest degree terms first. So a positive 1y squared and negative 6y squared. Subtract, our larger number is negative, so we get a negative 5y squared. And then our negative 4y and negative 2y are going to give us a negative 6y. All right, and then last but not least, right, our last subtraction here, again, our first polynomial, no sign out front, so it's not going to change. So we drop down our 6x cubed plus x minus 4. Right? Negative times negative is going to turn to a positive 3x squared. Negative times positive is going to turn to a negative 2x. Negative times negative is going to give us a positive 5. All right, then we're going to combine our like terms and write our answer in descending exponential order. We start with our 6x cubed. No like terms to match up with, so it stays by itself. Then we have our 3x squared. Then we have our positive x and our negative 2x. Those are like terms. Positive 1 and negative 2 is going to give us a negative 1. Right? So again, we can drop the 1 out front, make it invisible, so we have a negative x. And then we're going to finish it off with our negative 4 and our positive 5 which is going to give us a positive 1 when we subtract and take the sign of the larger. All right, so when we're subtracting our exponents, we have a 2-step process. I strongly recommend writing in that second step, not trying to jump only to the answer. It's worth it to keep your sign straight to write that middle step in there where we're dealing with our signs. All right, so we drop our first polynomial down, find the opposite of the second polynomial by changing our signs, and then we add by combining like terms. Again, we're only using our coefficients out front when we're combining our like terms. We're not changing our variables or exponents.